Welcome back, everyone. Our next guest, who is originally from Hearn, is a best-selling author who has focused much of his writings on the impact of influence. Chip Baker has this brand new book out called The Impact of Influence, Volume 10, Living and Leaving a Legacy. It hit #1 on Amazon in multiple categories, and we're fortunate enough that Chip, Coach Baker, is with us here today. It's so great to see you. You have such an inspirational story. You're a fourth-generation educator.
Yeah, thank you so much, first off, for having me. I consider it an honor and a privilege to be here with you on this amazing day. But yes, fourth generation educator, and so in my family, I come from a family of church folk with no S, and educators.
That's awesome. So how did, I guess, your calling in the classroom eventually lead to you being an author? You've written 23 books now. That's crazy.
Crazy. You know, man, that always trips me up because, you know, I didn't grow up around people that wrote books. And so it blows me away. I'm just grateful to be an author of one book, but to have 23, it's really neat. And it does two things for me. It shows me that it's important to remain humble because great things are possible, but then also it reminds me to be hungry because great things are possible. At
what point in your life did you kind of flip that switch of, you know, I'm not just, I say not just going to be a teacher and coach, because that's extremely time consuming, but I'm also going to use my skills to do things like be a podcaster, have a YouTube channel, write books. When in your life did you say, this is another calling of mine too?
Yeah, you know, I think probably about middle of my career, and I'm in my 26th year of education, but about, I don't know, probably year 12, 13 or so, I realized that I was learning transferable skills, right? So I started taking some of those skills that I learned in my job, in my calling, if you will, and I was able to use that. So first being, you know, I learned how to run football camps with my coaching profession at Conroe High School, big school. So growing up, you know, we couldn't afford to go to football camps, A&M camp, all that kind of stuff. Well, I took camp to my hometown and we did football camps in my hometown of Hearn, Texas. And so
I just got chills.
Yeah, so once I realized like I'm learning transferable skills that are not just for me, but I can take those skills and use those to be a blessing to someone else.
You've blessed a lot of lives. So this is volume 10. You've been writing about the impact of influence in different ways in all of these volumes, but this one specifically talks to influencers. And when we say influencers, a little bit of everybody, you know, business leaders, educators, just people that you feel like are changing the world. What did you learn by talking to influencers that you wrote about in this book?
I think a couple things. I think the first thing is we all have value. You know, sometimes we may feel that we don't, but we all have value and bring value to the table. That's the first thing. But then the second thing, within that value, man, we all have a story too, right? And so the things that we learn in our journeys to make our story, we can take that value and use that value to help others. Like I talked about with the camp scenario, you know, the things that we have in our life, we can use that to help others, and it allows us to live with purpose and live with passion. Even
though you've written 10 books about this topic in one way or another, did you learn a lot from this specific book?
Oh my gosh, yes. I think the cool thing, I'll tell a little, you know, story about myself. So like I go through, you know, I put the books together and bring the powerful influence together, but it's important to me to learn. Like I'm an avid learner. I want to continue to learn. So like I go through, when we get the books, I go through and reread them and highlight and take notes and do all of that stuff too.
I love that.
Because I think we can all learn from one another. And that's the beauty of life. That's the beauty of our differences. You know, that's the beauty of being in different places and being able to learn different things from different people. I think it makes life fun and exciting when you can do that.
I love that. Why did you decide this is going to be your last one? Volume 10 is going to be the last one about the impacts of influence. Why will it be the last?
So I think 10 is a good number.
It is a good number.
A good stopping place, good stopping point. But 10 is about living and leaving a legacy. And so for me, it's so huge. You know, we've done Focus on Coaches. We've done Focus on Love and Inspiration, telling stories. But this one is about legacy. And so legacy is so huge, right? And so a lot of times we think of like when we're gone as far as legacy, right? When we pass, when we're gone, what are we passing down? What are we leaving? But really, we can live a legacy each moment of each day.
If we only thought that way, right?
By our actions.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so I think it brings about an awareness when we're focused on that, and not in a selfish manner, but in a selfless manner, right? That like now, like the time that we have, like this moment of this day, Julie, we'll never get it back ever again.
You're right. You're right. And if
so,
we just live that way.
And so it's important for me to give you everything I got in this moment right now, because once this moment is over, it's over. We can't go back. So we have to live each moment in our lives because of that, and I believe that magic moments make magic memories.
How can people find your podcast?
Yeah.
Just more information about you. I know you got a website.
Yeah, so all of my social media is at Chip Baker, TSC, as in The Success Chronicles, except for X, Twitter. And that's Chip Baker 19, and I'm pretty responsive on my social media, so reach out, show some love. The books are all on Amazon. You know, search The Impact of Influence. You can search my name. You can find those things there. But I also have an online store, so I have merch. Go get it, merch, hats, T-shirts, hoodies. But I do signed copies on my online store, so I'd love for people to go check that out.
We are so grateful that you came all the way from the Houston area. You're teaching special education at the high school at New Waverly ISD. Such a calling. Thank you for answering that calling and for answering the calling of being an author and putting out such amazing information and books that we can get our hands on that can really help us all live a better life. This one's called The Impact of Influence, Volume 10, Living and Leaving a Legacy, and that is something that we all hope to do. Thank you for coming in. Have a safe trip home. We appreciate it. You are an inspiration.
Thanks for having me. Go get it.
You're welcome. We'll be right back.